In this lecture, we will be taking a look at the Embossing Starter Kit. The Embossing Starter Kit is compatible with all CM series models of the Scan & Cut, as well as the DX and also the DC. So whichever model you have, you should be able to get some use from it. When you take the contents from the box, you'll see a plethora of little bits and pieces, and I will just start unpacking those and then take you through them. There are various bits and pieces, and believe me, there is nothing of waste here, so please do make sure you keep everything that you unpack from that box. There are full instructions included, however I will take you through in this video how to use both styles of embossing. The first thing you'll see is a registration card, and this is to get some extra designs in Scan & Cut Canvas Workspace. The next thing is the embossing tools, and you've got two sizes of embossing nib together with the carrier. You've then got a couple of embossing metal sheets, the instructions, and an embossing pad. They're for your line embossing. Next, for your region embossing, you've got the sticky sheet there, the instructions, the stencil sheet, and the alignment sheet. All will become relevant when we go through those later in another video. The first thing we need to do is set up our embossing tool. We begin by unscrewing the cap and inserting our embossing tool with the embossing stylus facing down, and then screw the cap back on. Make sure that the arrows from the carrier and the embossing stylus are facing each other. Now that's set up, we need to insert that into our machine. So we open up the machine, insert the tool, and then drop down the locking lever. Next, for line embossing, we need to position the foam pad. This foam pad has a green side, a white side, and a blue tab. The green side faces your sticky mat, and the blue tab faces towards the bottom of the mat. Position it down and make sure it's stuck around the edges. Then you'll peel off the clear protective sheet from that foam pad. Then you will take one of the metal sheets that comes in the kit and then position that onto the foam pad. Don't remove either of the protective sheets on either side of that metal, and again point the blue tabs towards the bottom of the mat. Now we need to go to our machine and begin the process of line embossing. This starts with any pattern that you would like to use. As I mentioned, the registration card in Canvas Workspace will give you more designs to use. I'm going to choose a simple word, aunt, and I'm going to decrease it in size so that it will fit on my metal sheet. I will also flip the design using the mirror function, because basically we're pushing into our metal and therefore I need it to read backwards. I will now load the mat into the machine and scan a preview of it so that I can see where that metal sheet is on screen. Once it comes through, you'll be able to see on screen where the metal sheet is, and you can then position your cutting file over the top of it, making sure that it doesn't come into contact with the edges. Use the tools icon bottom right of the screen to adjust the settings for the pressure if you need to. The settings are given in the instruction manual that comes with the Embossing Starter Kit. Once you have everything set, you can press start and the embossing process will begin. The Scan & Cut will let you know when it has finished, and your embossing obviously will be pressed into the metal, so will currently read backwards. However, at this point you can now eject your mat and we will then reveal the results of our embossing. Begin by using the blue tabs to help remove the metal sheet and its cover from your foam pad. It's quite sticky when you first use it. You'll then use the little blue tabs to remove the carrier sheets, and do remember to keep these to one side because we can use them again. Now that our embossing is revealed, let's take a closer look. Perfect. These are the carrier sheets from the metal. As I said, do remember to keep hold of those because we can use those again for other metal sheets. Also remember to put the protective sheet back onto your foam pad, and you can then use the little blue tab to remove that sheet from your cutting mat. That completes line embossing. Join me in the next video where we will cover region embossing.